Hello everyone and welcome back to Noia Dev, the series that aims to prove that one developer can create a successful MMO RPG. My name is Dane and this week on Noia Dev we got a whole lot of changes to discuss, actually. First and foremost, I am quite happy to announce that all the quests in the forest are finished. NPCs have their updated sprites, they all have their dialogue, the quests have actual descriptions and requirements, cutscene triggers are in place, Rhonda the glamping vacationer is ready, Norman and Elva with their farming woes are ready, even the hidden bear tracking questline is ready. All of this is a rough draft, but all of it is there and it's functional. So I can't wait for you guys to get in game and tell me about all the bugs that I missed in testing. The complete storyline of the forest will not technically be complete until the Beehive dungeon is finished, as the Beehive plays a pivotal role in the storyline. But with all of this work done, I am starting to work on the Beehive now. Speaking of the Beehive, one of the Noia Discord members, Mr. Fox, has been hard at work at one of the Beehive bosses, the Behemoth. And look at this absolute unit of a sprite! Despite being about the same size as other bosses in Noia, the Behemoth looks absolutely massive, and I'm really looking forward to getting him in the game. I already have a sprite for the Queen of the Hive, so I really only need a few more minor enemy sprites and one more particular mini-boss sprite, a sort of nurse/matron of the hive that tends to the eggs and larvae. If you didn't already know, Noia does have a Discord, link in the description, and I have a channel for art requests. This channel has a copy of the player sprite for reference, as well as the Noia art style design doc and the current color palette in use. So if you'd like to contribute to the game, you're more than welcome to. Now don't think that I'm only willing to work with artists for exposure. Exposure does not pay the bills. I will never turn down any art that is donated to the game, but I do like to pay my professionals. So DM me in Discord and we can discuss. Moving on, we have a proper attack for the Deathcap mushroom. This poison cloud was pretty fun to whip up. I actually really like messing around with the Unity particle system. We now have a proper sprite for the Wisp Mother, the mini boss that can be found in the wild, as well as new sprites for Rhonda and, hold on, who's this? Everybody, meet Penny Pocket. She is the genius inventor of Penny Pocket's portable pneumatic personal pen to pocket producer, patent pending, or for short. Penny is the newest NPC in Noia, and she is responsible for expanding the player's inventory. Currently, the player's inventory is capped at 30, but even in testing, I quickly maxed out my inventory. When thinking back to previous games that I've played, two came to mind when thinking of inventory specifically: MapleStory and EverQuest 2. No surprise there. In EQ2, you had a number of bag slots that you would need to upgrade your bags to bigger bags if you wanted more inventory space. This was a bit of a hassle because you had to completely empty out a bag before you could swap it out for a bigger one. The second option was the MapleStory method. In MapleStory, you simply expand your inventory slots by a set amount whenever you purchase more inventory slots whenever you need it. MapleStory also has this very effective inventory view mode, so you can see the entire inventory at once. So that's what I went with. The inventory window can now be viewed in the standard vertical scrolling window view or in this expanded horizontal view. This new horizontal view took way too long to figure out how to get to work, and I think I may have actually torn a hole in reality when I put one of my operators as a larger than instead of a less than. But it works now, and that's what's important. Penny can expand the player's inventory 5 slots at a time, up to 105 slots. Each subsequent pentapocket purchased will increase the cost until the cap is reached. The topic of economics in Noia has been nagging at my brain for quite a while now. There are plenty of ways to make money in Noia and almost no ways to spend it. Inventory expansion will be one of the first major money sinks in Noia. This probably needs to be discussed in a future devlog. Speaking of future devlogs, if you like what you're seeing in this series, consider subscribing. subscribing. It helps the algorithm get the name of Noia out there so we have a larger player base to play with, because no one wants to play in an empty MMO. Moving on, we got this week's quality of life changes. A small change, but one that you will all actually notice, is shadow resolutions. When I first started making Noia, one of the first things I did was make the day-night cycle. Look at that doofy looking guy. I'm using a directional light source in Unity for the sun in Noia. Back then, the shadows looked like this. They looked okay on larger objects, but on the player and an object that's much closer to the ground, they were choppy and even hard to tell what they were supposed to be. Does that even look like a shadow at all? At some point, I increased the global graphics quality settings to max to deal with the other unrelated issue, but the shadows did get a lot clearer. But upon actually playing the game, the shadows had this weird wavy animation to them as the light source or the sun moved. Well, that's all fixed now. Cranking up the shadow resolution and adding additional shadow render passes has given us clear, crisp shadows, even when the sun is moving. If you zoom way in, you can still see the sort of jitter, but at any normal viewing distance, you cannot see it. So I'm super happy with this result. And finally, something some of you have been asking for, you can now simply double click your character on the character selection screen to log in. Woohoo! And that's it for this week. I'm really happy with the progress that was made this past 2 weeks. We got a lot of art, we got a lot of quests, we got a new essential game mechanic, and even a few quality of life changes. It feels pretty good. Hey, if you're not subscribed already, you really should be, because you're not going to want to miss the next devlog. We're talking about something that is pivotal to every single MMO RPG out there, and that's crafting. I got to get back to work. So, I'll see you next time.